Alright everybody, so I apologize about the in-class computer frozen episode. So I wanted to update our tutorials to include how to properly export your movie and get a finalized preview image into your folder so we're ready for critique tomorrow, Wednesday. So if you follow along, this will be just a basic guide to talk about rendering out to a QuickTime video. Okay, so what I have is a basic scene with my 3D logo. I have a camera. Um, if we preview, I've animated the camera to just sort of zoom in using the focal length to get a, just a quick slow motion view. And what I'm going to do now, since I'm ready to export this, is I'm going to go up to my render settings. So if you just simply click on the icon that looks like a little chop box with a menu behind it, that brings up your render settings. What we want to do is make sure in general we have full render. Under output, we're going to choose the basic preset of 320 by 240. At any time you could change this preset. What we're going to be using for our final output is the NTSC DV, which is 720 by 480. But for now, the basic preset of 320 by 240 will work just fine for us. Okay, the other thing that we need to make sure that we're located, and this is very important, is the frame range. So right now we just have current frame at 119, and this in particular animation has 120 frames. So we want to make sure they're all selected. To do that, you can just simply open the menu and go down to all frames. Now let's say your project was much longer and you just wanted to render out a portion of it. You could manually type in which frames that you would want to do. So that's important for our rendering out to save. The next thing is to choose a path. So make sure the save is checked. Open up a path. I'm just going to bring this to the desktop, and I'm just going to call it text test. That's a tongue splitter right there. And the other thing is, once you have that, make sure that the format is QuickTime Video. So move down to QuickTime Movie, and then under options we are going to change a few things. The compression type here, because we're previewing this as QuickTime's animation, is a very good compression, but it's also large. So we're going to do something that will compress it a little bit more and still be clear, which is H.264. It's a very good compression to use. 30 frames per second, quality best, and then click OK. We don't need to include sound, and that will make your file bigger, so we'll click that off. And we're not using any alpha, so we're not going to worry about that for now. If you're doing any other effects, you can open them up here. Like, for example, ambient occlusion is a nice one to add. If you do that, it's going to make your render time much longer, but it will be an interesting view. So any of those other after effects you can do then too. But for our purposes, just make sure that you have the output, all frames, and the correct size. Make sure you've saved it to a path as a QuickTime movie, and turn the sound off. Once your render settings are set, all you need to do is render it out to the picture viewer, which is the middle button right here. It looks like a little chop box inside like a QuickTime frame movie. Once you click that, you'll see each frame is rendering out very, very quickly, since this is a small video preview. And once it completes its render, you can just simply close it out, and then we can check to see how it renders out in QuickTime. So we're coming on to 120 frames. It's stopped. I can close this. I can minimize. Here you can see all the windows I have up that I should probably have closed earlier. There's my little guy, and somewhere out here we should have our text test movie. Here it is. Open it up in QuickTime and get a view. There we go. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. Once you have this file, open it up in the shared, or drag it to the shared drive in a folder that's called Critique Number 1. So look for that, and I will load that up. All right, I have the shared drive open. Locate the folder called 0crit1. It'll be at the top. Then Label your file first name, last initial, and then underscore project P2. Alright, Joe S underscore P2. Once that's done, just simply drag it up into that file and you'll be ready to go for critique. Make sure you have this done at the beginning of class on Wednesday. We'll see you then.